Hi, today we've got something really interesting to tear down. We've got this military computer, which is, as you can see, it says Harrier GR5 on the front of it. Now what this is some sort of test set for testing the Harrier jump jets engines. It's marked as a Data Retrieval Unit. It's manufactured by Plessy Avionics, and this was donated to me by a friend of mine who also had another one of these units which is stripped down and tried to reverse engineer. I did dump the EEPROMs for that unit, and actually the EEPROMs, I did actually find some aircraft tail numbers in there in text strings and some aircraft engine serial numbers and test results, but you couldn't really tell what they mean. I'll link that video down below if you want to take a look at the video of me dumping the EEPROMs. In the meantime, this is a teardown. The intention is I'm going to try and power this up and see if it does anything. Now it doesn't appear to have any video outputs. You've got these key switch there for normal and priv, which I presume is private, privacy. You've got EMU link connector there with about 26 connectors on, 26 pins, EMU link. Maybe that stands for Engine Management Unit. User port, which is likely what you'll have your serial port on. Unless I can't see any video output on this thing. So I presume it'll connect to a serial terminal. Let's see what we've got on this side. A couple of mounting holes. Another port. HHU link, I presume that's connects to the aircraft itself. Now, this thing, it appears it can be powered from a battery or from the aircraft's power supply, so I would imagine it runs off a 12 volt or 24 volt battery or the aircraft's 150 volt supply, and you've got two LED indicators here which indicates your power source. It's a locking switch, so you've got to pull it into select your mode. Yeah, it's got an interesting little box. On the back of the unit you've just got an air filter type thing. Right, we'll take this apart and see what's inside. Well, first of all, I'll remove the top cover. I can't find any information on this online as to what power supply it needs, but obviously I'm not going to have a 115 volt supply. I mean, it might be 28 volts AC. The Harrier jump jet does have multiple power sources from its APU, so I think it's namely your standard 115 volt at, what is it, 400 hertz, and then you've got your AC 26 volt 3 phase at 400 hertz. So I'll just take this cover off and then I'll come back. Right, just a few more screws to go. My friend did try and reverse engineer this, so we have actually got a partial circuit diagram. So this will help greatly for trying to power this thing up. Now, if I can find that, so it was sent to me in a WhatsApp text. Now, if I can find it, I will post it. I'll show you that now, if I can find it. And I'll also link it on my website. If you look in the description down below, I'll give a link to it there. Right, let's get the cover off. Right, now inside we have the aforementioned 4 EEPROM chips, which are flash. They're 256 kilobits, so you've got a total of 1 meg user storage. Well, it looks like it's got expansion up for up to 2 meg on the PCB. Like I said, I did dump these ROMs and found some interesting information there, aircraft tail numbers, some diagnostic results. You got some 74HC 541 buffers, 3 of those. We have HP branded 2300 8802. Max 8211 by the look of it. Custom FPGA or PLD. I've got 2 of those with obviously with a program number on. You got the EEPROMs here. That one contains the real-time operating system by the look of it. Branded Silicon Software, Ready Systems Corporation, Restricted Rights Legend. What else was it here? Ready Systems Sunnyvale. That must be the operating system. The firmware for the actual program itself in there, in that EEPROM, which is a 1012K EEPROM. This chip is an 8832C. It's a military version. I'll try and find the equivalent of what that is. We've got a Max 235 FPG. 68681 and a 6854CS. Another PLD there by the look of it. Another military part. Branded L3 Harris D3-8409. I'll look at what these chips are and then I'll put it on the video description when I come to edit it. These 2 chips look like EEPROMs. Sorry, op-amps maybe. UA9637, 2 of those. Actually no, one's a UA9637, the other's a UA9638. They could be the RS232 interface chips. Or RS485, whatever it is. Yeah, UA9638RM and UA9637AR. So it looks like this has probably got some sort of serial interface for monitoring it. And you've got 5 cables there going down to that user port down there. So there's 5 wires which presumably transmit, receive, pair, and a ground. So that probably will be a serial interface. That connector goes to the connector marked EMU link, or the engine management unit link. So not all the pins are used. Some connectors here that are used. A rectifier diode here. You select a switch. Select a switch plugs into that and into there by the look of it. And you got some connections here to goes to a PCB on the other side. These connections here go to the socket branded HU link. Now looking at the wiring loom, some of the pins on that connector also go to the PCB underneath. Now, main CPU is a 68008, which is a 8-bit version of the 68000. Some test points here. And my friend did say this all runs off 5 volts when he tried to reverse engineer it, so I guess on the other side of this there will be a power supply unit. So yeah, it's just basically, it's a 68,000 based computer with a serial interface. That's pretty much all it is. Now what I intend to do is power this thing up and see if we can get some sort of serial menu on that part, and see if I can retrieve any of the test information that's stored on this thing. Right, that'd be quite interesting. So in the other unit obviously hadn't been erased because there was still data in those EEPROM chips. And I guess this one will be the same. So yeah, let's see what's on the other side. I think for now what I'll do with this is this video just with the teardown. I'll do the reverse engineering and powering up in another video. I'll try and reverse engineer it by referring to the schematic that was provided. And then I will, if it runs off 5 volts, it'll be dead easy to power up. And then I'll play around and then see if we can get some data out of this thing. And I'll do that in another video. But for now, we'll see what's inside this other half. The battery must be 24 volts, so it must have a DC to DC converter in here somewhere. So, right, so we've got on this side then. Pooh, it smells in there. Disassessment pack. What stinks does that? Yeah, you got your 400 Hz transformers there. So that's definitely your what you got your 3-phase input there. Goes to that connector there on the side, HHU. So that's going to be your AC input. And then your other connections there. One chassis ground, and there's 2 more, which I presume will be the output of this power supply. Yeah. I don't know where the battery input is. I presume that'll come in on another switch, one of these other connectors. Power supply board, that's a rectifier diode. You've got an IC down there. So that is a military part by the look of it. The conformal coding minutes makes it hard to read what it is. So it's upside down, so let's see if I can see what it is. It's an IP 152.6A17/883. Yeah, it's a military part of that, so it probably will be a standard chip, but it's a military version. They have their own, both NATO and the military organisations have their own part numbering for ICs, for the mil spec stuff. What we got here? Yeah, some transformers in the MP400, so 3-phase rectifier there. Yeah, it's so that'll be your power output there. One presumes that goes to that switch on the front, just like between battery or aircraft. So that's pretty much that side. Right, I think. Oh, it smells horrible, does that? I don't think there's anything else we missed, but I think the next video is going to be powering this thing up and see if we can get anything interesting out of the serial port. There's definitely no video output on this thing, so yeah. That's it. Just normal glue logic down there. Some LEDs. Quite an interesting little unit. In a day, it's just a basic 68,000 base PC really, so shouldn't be too much trouble. Right, if you like and subscribe, you'll see the next video where I tear this down. So if you like and subscribe, you better see the next video when I try and power this thing up. Until then, thanks for watching.